Good morning. It is October. It is March the 20th. And this marks my third attempt of trying to put something online for you guys so that you have the ability to do yoga while we're not meeting together and while we're in isolation. So it's not the best camera. It's just off of my computer and I hope to improve, but thought that something was better than nothing, which is kind of my motto when it comes to working out. So we're going to go ahead and start standing up, pressing your feet hip width apart. I'm going to turn my music on. Feet lined up underneath the hip bones, taking your fists and placing them right on those hip bones to kind of see if they line up. Kind of gives you a good feel. We're placing arms out to the side, palms open, squeezing the thigh muscles, the glutes, pulling the belly in, pulling the pelvic floor up. Long waist, long neck by shoulders drawing down the back. Closing the eyes. Settling into your breath. Softening your face. And just noticing your breath right now. Removing all other distractions except for what's on the mat. Everything outside the circle of your mat can be put aside for a little while. Because we all need this time. It's time to exercise. It's time to breathe, to get the heart rate up, to help build our immune system, to help relieve stress. Yoga can do all these things. In the next few breaths, I want you to count to 6 with the inhale. Pause for a breath at the top, and then exhale for 6. One more of those deep cycling breaths. And we're just going back to a normal breath, but remembering your breath throughout the practice. It's one breath per movement. So beginning with an inhale, we reach arms overhead. With an exhale, they float back out to the side. Inhale to rise. Exhale to release. 2 more times. Now taking your right arm, reaching toward the mat, your left arm reaching toward the ceiling. Pressing the left foot into the mat, the left fingertips reaching. Nice side stretch here. Release that. Right arm reaches now. And releasing that. Now you're at your front of your mat. I'm at the side, so go ahead and turn sideways so that your toes are pointed at the corner of the mat. You're at the long edge of your mat. Arms are going to come up to the corners of the ceiling and then coming down into moonflowers. Inhaling to rise, exhaling to lower. Take a look at your knees. Make sure they're not collapsing in, but your feet are pressing them back out. Not going too far down. We're just starting. Belly's pulled in. 3 more of these. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to lower. Last one. Now turning that back foot, bringing hands to heart center, stepping to the top of your mat. Inhaling to rise, exhaling, lowering down into chair pose. Rising with the inhale, lowering with the exhale. Just flowing through our chair. Sitting back on the heels. One more time. And stepping back to that long edge of your mat again. Star pose. And now this time moving into sunflowers where we hinge at the hips. Release the arms and then rise up. Hinging and flowing. Once again, knees are going back. Keeping that back long. Not bending at the waist. 2 more of these. Going only as low as your body's telling you today. You can't go all the way down. Just go a little way. We're starting our warm up here. Last one. Hands coming to heart center. Picking up that back foot and rotating it toward the front of your mat. Stepping forward. Folding. Starting with an inhale to rise. And exhale, folding long spine. Stepping onto all fours. Placing shoulders above those wrists. Coming onto your fists, which I'm going to be doing because I have a lot of wrist issues. Knees directly under hips. Moving into cat-cow, inhaling to extend. Exhaling to flex into our cat, pressing the belly toward the ceiling. And then moving in and out through our cat and cow. Keeping that belly button pulled into the spine. One more time in each direction. Coming back to a neutral spine. Now taking your right hand, reaching it forward. Left foot reaching it back for spinal balance. Keeping the back as steady as we can, looking down at our mat so that our neck is long. Now replacing that. Opposite arm and leg extend. And replace that. Going to add a crunch this time. Extending arm and leg. And then with an exhale, we're going to round the back, scoop the belly, bring the elbow and the knee together. Extending forward. Do that 2 more times. Replacing hand and the knee to the mat, and then taking the other hand and knee out with an exhale, scooping and rounding. You're going to see this again in our sun salutations. One more. Replacing that hand and the knee. Now taking your right arm for our first twist, threading it under. Sitting here for 2 breaths. Now with the next inhale, reaching that hand back toward the ceiling and replacing it. Taking the left arm this time and reaching it up, sliding it under. Next inhale, reaching arm back toward the ceiling and replacing it under. Moving through our half series. Walking the hands a little bit forward, sitting back in child's pose. With an inhale, we rise up, lengthen the spine without collapsing it. Lower just slightly down. Elbows go back. Rise up. Sit back in your child's pose. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale to sit back. 2 more times. This is preparing us for sun salutations, which we'll be doing very shortly. Everybody meets in child's pose. And now tucking your toes, coming up into downward facing dog. Feet are hip width apart, middle finger pointing toward the front of the room. And we're pedaling to begin stretching out those hamstrings in the back side of the body. Shoulders are retracted. They're not up here, they're down here. Now both feet rise, and with an exhale, both feet reach toward the earth. Looking at your hands, bending at the knees, and walking to the top of your mat into a fold. Halfway lifting, shoulders drawn away from the ears. You could come to here also. Exhale to release. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Moving through a few folds. Inhale. Exhale. Lowering the hips. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heart center. At your own breath, one more time, then we're going to move into our sun cells. First sun salutation. Inhale. Fold. Step the right foot back and the left into downward facing dog. Gliding forward to your plank. Staying here or coming to your knees. Elbows back as we lower chest and chin to the mat. And sliding shoulders away from the mat, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat for cobra. Tucking toes, coming onto your knees, and then rolling hips high for downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up. We scoop the belly and bring the knee to the nose. Extending that leg, replacing it. Bending and walking to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Doing that again. Folding. Left foot, then right into down dog. Moving through your flow, coming to plank, lowering down. Cobra or up dog if you choose. Down dog. Left foot reaches this time. Foot is flexed. And then we bring the knee to the nose, scooping the belly generously. Extending the leg again and replacing it. Walking or hopping to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Release down. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hold it there a minute while I turn my music down a little. Okay, do this again. We're going to add on to our sun salutations. Folding. Stepping left foot, then right foot back to down dog. Moving through your flow. One breath per movement. Once you're in down dog, right foot rises. Scoop the belly, knee to nose. Right foot rises again. This time we're going to step to the outside of our hand, to the outer edge of our mat for a wide-legged lunge. Rotating toward that bent leg. Hand comes back inside that foot. We step back into downward facing dog. Looking forward, walking, or hopping to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Release. Rise up. Hands to heart center. Breath in. Fold. Left foot, then right this time. Go ahead and flow. Once you're in down dog, left foot reaches. Bend the knees, scoop the belly, touch the nose. Straighten it out. This time, knee's going to come to the outside of your hand, to that outer edge of the mat. We rotate toward that bent leg. Hand comes back on the inside. We press back to down dog. Bending the knees, looking forward. Coming to the top of your mat into your fold. Halfway lift. Release. Circle around and up. Hands to heart center. We're going to move a little faster through our flow. As you hear the music, maybe not. Right foot left into down dog. Inhale. Lower. Listen up. Right leg reaches. Scoop. Knee to nose. Right leg reaches. This time we step between the hands into our lunge. You can stay on your toes or you can drop to your knee and reach. Release. Tuck that back toe. Step back to down dog. Look forward. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift. Release. Rise up. Again, one more time on this side. Other side, I mean. Left and then right, go back. Slow. And down dog. Left foot reaches. Knee to nose. Extend. Step through to lunge. And if you have to do this to get there, that's perfectly fine. Staying on your toes or coming to your knees. Rotating toward the bent leg. Releasing hand to the mat. Tucking the back toe. This time stepping forward into your fold. Halfway lift. Releasing. Rising up. Hand comes to heart center. Lowering into chair. So in chair, notice I'm not tipped forward like this. I'm as upright as I can be. I'm sitting on my heels. Feet are not on your toes, but we're going to do that in a minute. And knees aren't collapsing in or out. They're tracking forward. Taking the right foot, picking it up, placing it back into crescent lunge. Reaching arms up overhead. Couple of breaths here. Pressing palms together. Bringing hands toward the heart space. Rotating toward that bent leg. Reaching arms front to back. Returning arms to the center. Rotating back to center. Arms reach down. Stepping back into your down dog and staying here or moving through your flow. Your choice. Walking or hopping to the top of your mat. Halfway lifting. Releasing. Reaching for the ceiling. Hands to the heart space. Lowering to chair. This time, reaching arms up if you can, as long as it doesn't make you dump over. Keeping the shoulders retracted. You can always stay here if you want. I'm just showing you options. Really squeezing those legs, making it work. Now picking up the left foot, stepping back into crescent lunge, which is a little bit of a balance issue. Arms reaching up for crescent lunge. Pressing palms together, drawing them down, rotating toward that bent leg. Twisted lunge. This is our pose of the month. Reaching front to back. Bringing hands back together. And then rotating toward the front. Arms reach down. Moving through your flow. Or staying in down dog. And it's always an option to go to child's pose if you want. We're in downward facing dog. Walking the hands to the back of the mat. Halfway lift. Release. Circle around it up. Hands coming to heart center. We're going to move into some planks now. Fold. Walk the hands back forward. Come onto the knees. Come onto the forearms. Now, if you want to do your planks on your knees, you still need to lower the booty. Shoulders away from ears. Pulling the belly in, staying here. Or if you want more, tucking the toes and coming up. Making sure you're breathing. Making sure that belly's not sagging. If it starts to sag, put the knees down. And in planks, we want to really squeeze the hamstrings and the glutes. It's not just about the stomach. Tapping the left knee down and the right. One more time each side. Knees both come down. Arms walk back. We move back into downward facing dog. Moving into side plank. So you're going to walk onto the side edge of that right foot and opening up. Always an option to drop that knee and kickstand it out, but still try to pull up through the waist there. Either way. Exhale, scoop and round. You're going to do that 2 more times. Reaching up, bringing that knee down, kickstanding it out if you weren't already there. And then coming up into gate pose. Stretching that side that we just worked. Now cartwheeling the hands down, coming forward, pressing back to down dog. And now moving to side plank on the other side. Rotating onto the edge of the left foot. Opening up or dropping that knee if you want. And now scooping and reaching. Really drawing the belly in. And if you've got your leg kickstand, you probably can't go as far down. One more time. Now putting your knee down if you haven't already. Using that core to come on up to gate pose on the other side. Stretching that side. You can't see my foot back here, but it's flexed. And I'm not tipping forward. I'm in one plane. Cartwheeling forward. Pressing back to downward facing dog. Walking the hands back. Into fold. Rolling up slowly. Hands on the hips. We're going to step forward in a warrior one. So that back foot is down. Hips are rotated toward the front of the mat. Pressing off that back leg. Reaching forward to warrior three, which is really hard for me today because I'm on carpet. So the floor is not as stable. So it's not going to be pretty. Finding that focal point and holding onto the wall, which is what I'm going to do today. Bottom leg is bent or soft. It can be straight if you want it to be. Inhale, rise, touching down if you need to, and then coming forward, pressing that foot through. Go ahead and release that leg down. Shake it out. Stepping back with the left foot now. Putting all the pressure on that front leg. You're going to launch into your warrior three. And this leg is a lot worse for me. Hands can stay at heart center if you want. Flexing that foot, that back foot. Now inhale, rising up slowly, touching down, or just bringing the leg through, pressing through the foot, reaching if you want, or keeping hands in your heart space. Exhale, releasing back down to the mat, shaking it out. One more flow. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Stepping back. Staying in down dog if you want, or come with me. Now knees lower to the mat. We walk our hands back up. Moving into camel. Taking your fists. Placing them on the back. On either side of your spine, in the top part of your hips. Coming up out of the hips here. Leading with the heart. Squeezing the glutes, pressing the front of the hips, opening the front side of the body. This is a little back bend. If you want more, you tuck those toes and very gently coming back. My eyes are gazing at the crease between the ceiling and the wall. Ceiling and the wall. Rising up. Sitting back to the side. We're going to do a little bit of core work here. So I want to teach you guys something different, which we do at CrossFit. Grabbing the back of your legs. You're going to roll onto your back. Knees coming up. Drawing the chest toward the knees so that your shoulder blades are off the mat. And we're moving into, not dead bug, hollow hold. So keeping the shoulders up, extending one leg. If it has to be up here, that's fine, because we want the back to be pressed into the mat, the belly button to be pushed into the spine. Now, other leg releases and arms reach. Notice my shoulder blades are not resting, they're still up. This is a hollow hold. Drawing the knees in if you have to. You can tell them second wind here. Do one arm at a time, one leg at a time. Make sure you're breathing. Release. Down to the mat. We're not done yet. Taking the arms, placing them behind the head, working on our obliques. We're going to take the left shoulder to the right knee. So it's not about cheating and reaching that elbow. It's about reaching that shoulder across the center line. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Making sure you're breathing. And now we're going to pick it up a little bit. We're like a bicycle. Let's count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet down, arms by the side. Drawing the heels closer to the sit bones. Knees are lined up with the hips. Moving into a bridge pose. So we're going to flow a few times and hold it. One vertebra at a time. Reaches up and releases down. Squeezing at the top, whatever your top is, and releasing. If you need to take your feet and walk them a little farther out, you can. Not wide, but just further away. And this last one, we're going to hold it. Squeezing those glutes. You want a little bit more. Clasping hands underneath. Once again, this is a little back bend. Now releasing one vertebra at a time, coming down onto the mat. Drawing knees into chest. Rocking side to side. Now moving into reclined cobbler. We're going to take our feet out to the side, grabbing at the ankles. It's butterfly. It's also called butterfly. If you need to take your elbows to open a little wider, you can. Some of you might just be here. That's fine. Now flexing the feet, reaching the heels up toward the ceiling, coming into happy baby. Taking the hands on the outside of the thighs, pressing them together. We're going to roll up to seated position. And moving into a forward fold. Starting with the right leg extended, the left sole of the foot and the inner thigh. Getting a blanket or a towel here if you need to help tilt the pelvis forward a little bit. Breath in. Breath out as we hinge at the hips and allow the hands to fall where it's comfortable. So think about pressing the heart forward. We're not rounding that lower back. Closing the eyes, scanning the body, softening the face, slowing the breath. Now softening into the pose, rounding the upper back. Walking the hands back up to seated position. Taking that top leg, crossing it over. Taking your right arm behind to help you get upright. Reaching with that left hand and then using the belly to rotate the body toward that bent leg. Placing elbow on outer edge for a deeper twist. Or wrapping the hand around. And then the last thing to go is the head, gazing in the opposite direction, gazing toward the back of the room. Taking that top arm, replacing it back to the side, back arm comes forward. We unhook that top leg. Extend the left leg this time, right leg comes in. We tip forward on our pelvis, reaching with the breath in. With the breath out, we lead with the heart and the hands fall. Notice if you really focus on pulling the belly in, that you might be able to go a little bit deeper into the fold. And softening the upper body if you're ready. Walking the hands up, taking that leg that's in front. And if your body says it's okay, which mine's going a little bit, taking your left hand, placing it behind to lengthen the spine. Right arm reaches up. We rotate through the core before we place the arm either on the outside or wrapping it around. Every inhale, we lengthen the spine. Every exhale, we try to go deeper into the twist. So if it's too much for you to be like in this pretzel position, an option is to straighten that right leg and bring the left leg out, not crossing it. And releasing that top arm, replacing it to your side. Back arm comes to the side. You're going to scoot to the top of your mat, getting ready for Savasana. So finding whatever position is comfortable for you. Rolling onto your back. If you want to take the feet out to the side edge of your mat and collapse the knees in, that's very restful and good for the lower back. Or you can move to full Savasana, straightening one leg and then the other, allowing the feet to flop open like a rag doll. Just feeling the mat holding you up. Directing the breath to whatever areas still feel tight as you scan your body one last time. The next breath, inhale, bring arms overhead. Exhale, drawing one knee and then the other into your chest. Circling in one direction. And then the other. Now slowly floating to the right side of your body, keeping your eyes closed. Taking 2 big breaths here. With the next exhale, pressing yourself back up to seated position. Rolling the shoulders forward, up and back. 2 more times. Noticing how they feel. And then reversing that. And coming back to neutral. Arms reaching overhead. Palms pressed together, drawing hands toward heart center. And opening your eyes. Thank you for practicing with me today. Please give me any feedback. And please, during this time of separation, find a way to do yoga. I'll try to send out more videos. I'll try to improve them. And if not, there's tons of resources online that you can do. And thankfully, I'm so grateful we live in the South where the weather's warmer. We can get out and walk. It's been beautiful. But you guys have a blessed day.